Hello everybody, welcome back to Amber's Tarot. I'm going to be doing today a horoscope for June for the sign of Libra. And this is going to be done in a different way I haven't done before. The reason being is, unfortunately, I tried to record the video before and I introduced it as for Gemini. And my mistake is because I've just done a Gemini video before. So I've started the recording again. But this is for Libra. Because I'd already started a previous recording, I've already drawn the cards. I just didn't want there to be much confusion and for people to click off a video if they thought they got onto the wrong one. So I've already drawn the cards for Libra for June 2018. And we have the Oracle card, which is Seek the Lesson. Now this was the same as for Gemini actually, which is probably why I said Gemini. And it's all about looking at everything that happens this month and finding the lesson within. There is lessons to be learned. There's always lessons to be learned. But this month specifically, there's a hidden lesson that the tarot is indicating that Libras may struggle to find if it's not pointed out to them. So for the first week of June, we have the Nine of Wands reversed. This is the Wands is all about creativity. And that's been paired with the Queen of Water. The Water cards are all about emotions. Okay, so the cards are indicating that this first week of June, Librans may be under a lot of stress. There's a lot of pressure on Librans this week. Your energy feels low. This is leaving you open to falling prey to unreasonable demands by others. You're not in the best frame of mind this week to be making any big decisions. So try to avoid making decisions unless absolutely necessary this week. When your energy is low and you're feeling sapped of just under a lot of stress and pressure, then it's difficult to make informed choices in the best way. If somebody's trying to pressure you to make a decision, avoid giving into temptation for an easy life. Avoid just trying to give in and give a decision. Try to take a step back emotionally if you can, and simply give them what they need at the moment perhaps, but delay making that decision until a bit later. Look after your health. That's very important this first week. Stress, pressure, feeling overwhelmed, it can all be very taxing on our physical health. And this can leave you open to being at risk of infections, picking up any bugs going around. So just watch your health and watch your diet this week. It might be a good idea to take some extra multivitamins, eat a bit more fresh fruit and vegetables, especially vegetables, raw if you can, for many of them. And seek out some probiotics, some really good probiotics. If you can get hold of kefir, water kefir, milk kefir, try to take some of that. If not, then source out some very good probiotics. Just make sure there's more than the normal 2 strands of bacteria in the ones if you're buying from the supermarket, and try to make sure it's organic. You need to boost up your immune system this week to try and avoid falling prey to any bugs or infections going around because you're under stress. Eating healthily as well, eating living food, living vegetables that haven't been cooked is really good for your energy as well, because it holds more energy, it retains it, that your energy body can then utilize. So when your energy is low, go for raw is my advice, and avoid meat as much as possible, which can sap energy out of your energy body. So avoid meat and go for raw vegetables as much as possible with some fruit. Not too much fruit, some fruit. That's my little health advice over with there. Okay, the Dreams of Gaia Tarot is suggesting that this would be a good time to seek out somebody who embodies the energy of the Queen of Water. Now, you're looking for somebody who is a gentle soul, who's very empathetic, understands others very well, who has a very keen sense of intuition and knows how to use it. This is a person who somehow just knows things, is very good at reading people, but not using it in a manipulative way. This person could be you, but if it is somebody around you, somebody you know who embodies those characteristics, this week might be a good time for you to seek out their counsel and their support. They might just be able to help you see in a wider and different perspective what's going on, help you make a decision if it has to be made this week, in a way that you're not going to regret later. If you don't know anyone of that nature, and remember that could be a male or a female, adult or child. And sometimes children are the best people to help us make decisions because they see things in a much more simplistic way. And sometimes that's what we need. We often overcomplicate our lives. But if it's yourself, the cards are suggesting that this is an energy you might want to embody more this week. In terms of, I would suggest your intuition. And so try to read your intuition a little bit more. Try to listen to it a little bit more. That doesn't mean follow it blindly, because our inner voice, our inner self, the information we receive from that is filtered through our life experience. And when we're under a lot of stress and pressure, then it can cloud the messages we receive. So don't follow blindly, but just listen a bit more to it. And perhaps also to consider that those who are placing demands on you this week, they're looking at things in a different way, and they may be under a lot of stress and pressure themselves. So try to be a bit more empathetic with their demands. That doesn't mean to accede to their demands. It doesn't mean to give in to them. But it means maybe to understand why they're making them. Try not to lash out this week in frustration, in anger, because of stress and pressure. Try not to be short-tempered. Try to take a step back emotionally. Just center yourself. Be gentle with yourself and those around you. If you feel yourself driven to give in to that kind of behavior, my advice would be to, if you can, leave the actual situation, take some deep breaths, calm yourself, ground yourself, walk in bare feet on the soil, go into yourself, allow your mind to empty. All of the things about premeditation you can do to center and disassociate from the emotional attachments that can form around us. If you can't leave the situation, then simply excuse yourself to go to the bathroom and sit down and take some deep breaths. I do this often when I'm around a lot of people and I can't really get away. I mean, it's hard to say, I need to go meditate. But it's easy to say, just need to use the bathroom. And then you can sit and you can take some deep breaths and calm yourself. One of the good tricks I use to disassociate from emotional attachments and demands is to visualize a spinning ball of white light around yourself. Imagine it spinning and imagine these cords of energy attachments coming into you, and the spinning severs them and prevents any new ones coming in. It leaves you with a feeling of a bit of detached from the situation, and that allows you to calm your emotions, calm yourself down, and able to take a step back and look at things from a new perspective. So the second week of the month, we have a major arcana in the art of tarot, which is the Hanged Man. Don't be alarmed. It doesn't mean what it appears to mean. And this has been paired with a reversed Dreams of Gaia Earth card, the Seven of Earth, which is about home, family, and career. Okay, there's a need in the second week for you to look at things in a different way. Funnily enough, I was just explaining one of the ways in which you can do that to detach emotionally and see things in a new perspective with meditative and mindfulness techniques. This is going to be very important in the second week. Something is blocking progress somewhere, and this is likely to be in the home and family front. Something is blocking you from seeing through, I want to say, the dross that builds up, the little nitty-gritty things that build up over time and prevent us from really seeing the entire picture. There's a strong indication that it's really important in the second week, more so possibly than the first, that you listen to your intuition, your inner wisdom, your gut feeling, that knowing in your waters or knowing in your bones, whatever the term your community may use and your family may use. Trust that voice in the second week. There's a sense of waiting around for an outcome of something. This could be because you cannot make a decision, you're not sure about making a decision about something, or somebody else isn't sure, or simply something else is going to need to be done for that outcome to occur. Either way, listen to your intuition, if it's yourself or somebody you know that has to make a decision. Be sure you understand the whole perspective before you do so. The advice of the cards also is to help you do this. Sometimes when we're stuck trying to make a decision, the more we think about it, the harder it becomes. It just goes round and round and round on the hamster wheel of our brains. And it's very difficult to really make that decision because we cannot see the solutions. Often what is helpful is if we simply disassociate from worrying about the problem and do something completely different. Think about when you're watching something on television or you're reading a book or you see a new character and you know them from somewhere, but you just can't remember how. Sometimes it's when you're doing something completely different later that information will simply appear in your brain. This is a similar situation. The more you think and worry, the more you're invested in this situation, which can still be very stressful and intense in the first week, the harder it's going to be for you to resolve. So the tarot is advising that you get away from that decision making, that situation, the stress, the pressure. Do something completely different, but make sure it's enjoyable, make sure it's relaxing, and make sure it's reaffirming bonds of connection and support and empathy with others. Perhaps you can spend more time with children. Perhaps you can go to a park, take the children out to something enjoyable. Just spend an enjoyable evening out with your partner. Something that's completely different with family or friends. So you can relax, you can enjoy yourself and leave your problems behind on this period of time so that you're not focusing on it. Every time you think of it, do not let those thoughts, do not grab hold of them. Let them go. Physically, this is going to be helpful to your health, which you still need to be careful of. You still need to be making sure that this period is not going to be adversely affecting your health. But it's also going to be helpful for you on a psychological level as well. Okay, so the third week of the month, we have another major arcana, the Emperor. This one is reversed. And this has been paired with the Ace of Air, which is about your mind, thoughts, and beliefs. Okay, so going on from the second week, which was the Hanged Man, and the indication that you were waiting around for the outcome of something. This week may be the time you get that outcome. However, the cards here are indicating that in order for the outcome to come that you desire, a shift in perception has to have occurred. This could be yourself or it could be another, but somebody needs to change the way they're looking at something. It's also indicating for you that still keep listening to that inner voice. Honor what you know to be right inside, what you know to be true based on your life experience. Other people are going to be keen this month to tell you you're wrong, that not in a harmful way or an intent to cause you harm, but because they're looking at things from their life experience. The tarot is advising you, Libra, this month to honor what you know to be true, your inner voice. Listen to the others, yes. They can often help, support, or inform you, but don't override your own inner gut instincts this month. You've had to start seeing things in a slightly different way this month. And this can cause issues when other people don't share the same shift in perspective on a matter. They could be trying to bring you back to their perspective. Don't allow them to do that. Perhaps you've had a new idea. Perhaps something has happened that has changed the situation's path. Whatever the case may be, don't ignore your dreams or your goals. Don't allow anyone else to try to belittle or devalue them either. Something is going to be making you excited, and this sounds like a new idea. This sounds like a new direction. And other people may try to pick away at that excitement. People don't like change generally, especially when it's forced upon them from outside. So be empathetic. Understand that perhaps if there is a change occurring in your life or a new direction that comes up, the people around you may have worries and concerns and be upset about this. That's fine. Let them feel the way they feel. They will come to terms with it. Don't allow their objections, their low energy, their negativity to chip away at yours. Trust that inner guidance always. There is an indication that there is a risk in this situation that either yourself or somebody else may begin to use more domineering tactics to force a change on somebody. This could be somebody trying to change you, to go back to give up on a dream or a goal. It could be that you are trying to change other people's perspective to come in line with your own by force and domineering behavior. That is a risk, especially in this third week. Be very careful, because that's not helpful. If you're the one who is tempted to do that, don't. Allow others to change their perspective in their own time. Don't force it on them. If you try to do that, you can often cause more obstinacy on their part, and you can damage relationships. And you will have to deal with the regret of that afterwards. You'll have to deal with the emotional repercussions. Even if people are upset or angry or confused, they have a right to feel that way. You don't have to react to the way they're feeling. That's your choice. Just simply be there for them in an emotional capacity, in a supportive capacity, without trying to change them too radically and too quickly. So the last week of the month, we have the Six of Wands. Again, another creativity card. And this has been paired with the reversed Desire card. Okay. The outcome that was expected or be awaited for earlier within the month, towards the end of the month, there's going to be resolution. There's going to be something that's going to be coming to you, an outcome of this. This card indicates, it's a very favourable card, the Six of Wands. It indicates that good news is going to arrive at the end of this month. A favourable outcome to something that perhaps that isn't expected. Perhaps something that you've been working towards. Perhaps the same thing that that entire month has been about. This change of perception in order to generate a favourable outcome. This indicates it's going to be successful. This could be in the area of work, it could be in a legal contract, it could be financial. Whatever it is, it's wonderful news, and it's something that you have had to invest in, something you've had to invest resources in some way, time, energy. There's been obstacles along the way that you have overcome, and you are in a congratulatory to yourself mood at the end of the month. It's a happy time. However, the warning involved here. The reverse desire card, which is paired with this one, is all about selfish desires. It's a warning to temper your feelings and joy at the end of a month by being a little more honest with yourself and looking at your desires. Are they being selfish? This doesn't necessarily mean to turn away what's coming your way. It could be about how you are behaving. Are you behaving in a way that's not taking into consideration others' feelings? There's an indication of a little bit of jealousy as well. Somebody at the end of this month may be jealous, may be focusing too much on what other people have or are doing and not on themselves. They're worrying too much about what other people are doing and not what they should be doing. This could be you, it could be somebody else thinking about you in your situation. You know the saying, nobody who's in a glass house should throw stones. Well, we all live in glass houses all the time. If this is you, take a step back, center yourself, and look at your own motivations in this. Often people worry so much about other people because they're avoiding looking at themselves and their own lives. They'd rather find unpleasant truths about other people so they don't have to focus on their own. So be wary about getting involved in petty gossip. Be wary about spiteful feelings, about jealousy and envy. And be sure your motivations are pure at the end of this month, that they're not too selfish, or that your behavior is not too selfish. Consider other people. Consider how they're feeling. Consider that they may be justified in how they're feeling. Even if you don't feel they're justified, what concern is it of yours? Let it go. Focus on yourself, on what you're doing, not on what other people are doing or thinking or feeling. There is a chance you might be at the end of this month asked to involve yourself in another dispute between two other parties. If you are, just be careful on how you behave in this situation. This could be the legal situation that's been talked about in the other card or hinted might be resolved. Perhaps your involvement will help resolve it. Just be careful not to get too involved and to be objective if you are asked to involve yourself, to mediate. But there is no justification to involving yourself in others' disputes without you being asked to do so by both parties. So just remember that. Don't involve yourself unnecessarily. Sometimes it's easy to look at something and think we know the answer and with the best intentions, sometimes we want to fix other people's problems. Again, the desire to do this is often a need to feel good about ourselves, because we don't feel good about ourselves entirely otherwise. If you're involving yourself in other people's issues and disputes without being asked, then that's likely why. And that is a selfish desire. Even though it's an altruistic behavior and it's presented altruistically, really it's selfish. We all need to work on ourselves more rather than involving in other people's lives and business. Let other people work on themselves. So overall, the end of June is going to be a very good month for Libras. They're going to get some good news that they've been expecting. There's going to be a rewarding outcome. Overall for the month, the advice is mostly to listen to your intuition, your gut instinct. Try not to allow other people getting involved from outside, whether they've been invited to or not invited to, steer you off your path this month. There's going to be changes in perceptions and changes in paradigms. This could be yourself, it could be required of others around you. This is going to cause stress, it's going to cause emotional upset. Seek out or embody that love, that mothering nature this month, that queen of air, that empathy and compassion, and the person who is very intuitive. Embody that energy yourself or seek it out from another to help support you and see things more clearly this month. Work on grounding yourself, distancing yourself emotionally where needed, so that you don't get drawn into others' disputes and you don't allow others' energy to drain you too much. But overall, the lesson for this month for Librans is to trust your gut, trust your instinct and your intuition. But do so with mindfulness and full knowledge of your own paradigms, your own perspective is affecting and filtering that. So be sure you are seeing things clearly before trusting it blindly. And be aware and try not to allow other people to affect how you feel, so it doesn't colour your intuition either. Okay, that's the end of the reading for Libra for June. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you get a lot of guidance out of it. And check out my meditations playlist. There's a new channeled meditation there, which could be very helpful for Librans this month. And if you've enjoyed this video, I would really very much appreciate it if you could like, share and subscribe. And if you want the notifications, tick the notifications bell. Don't forget that. Okay, thank you very much, and I will speak to you Librans again at the end of June.